All right, here's how to do the Coordinating Climate Part 2 assignment. So, just on Edsby, I'm going to scroll down to Social Studies, and I'm going to scroll to Content, and open that up to start things off. Okay. So, there are a few different parts for the Coordinating Climate assignment. There's part 1, which is just kind of the introduction to looking at climate graphs and kind of understanding what a climate is. And then we get to part 2, which is actually uh, interpreting the data that we find in the climate graph. So if I click on that one, okay. So if you read through this one, this shows the climate graph of Regina. The red line is the temperature, okay? And it kind of goes up and down. And then the blue one is the amount of precipitation, which is rain or snow, that a certain place will get. Okay, so looking at this, our 6 month is the one that gets the most rain or precipitation. So June makes sense. Whereas February, where we are right now, the second month, gets the least amount. Okay? We see that the hottest month is July and then August, and then the coldest months are January, February, and December. So that's pretty straightforward for us. Okay? If you keep reading on that page, it shows you the climate graph of the different places in Canada. So Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver, Calgary, and Edmonton, very similar to ours. Okay, then Ottawa, Winnipeg is like ours as well, Quebec, and then Hamilton. Okay, you can learn a lot about different places based on their climate graph. So if we looked at Melbourne, which is in Australia, their temperature looks different than ours does. It makes a wave in the opposite direction because they're in the southern hemispheres, whereas we're in the northern hemisphere. Okay? For the assignment, I do break it down here, but we can take a look at it right now and kind of go through it too. So let me open up the assignment. So this is it here. So climates of our villager representatives. What I would do is I would stick with the country that you've already picked, that's on the Pacific Rim. So the one that you did the coordinates for and the populations for, stick with those same places. You've already done part of the work then. You already know which places you're looking at. Okay? And it's asking you to find the climate graph, climate code. I want you to find the warmest and coolest month and the approximate precipitation for February. So if I open that up on the side here for me. Okay, so I went to climatedata.org. I click search and say I was looking for Regina. I can search that. Regina, Canada. Okay. So I'll open up that. Scroll down a little bit. There's a really big graph that you can use. So I would use this one. And you just click copy. And then over here you could click paste. And it would include your climate graph. Okay. I will get rid of that for a second though. Okay. It also asks you to give for the climate code. That's right here. So DFB. The warmest and coolest month. So you're looking at the red lines here. The warmest month would be the 7th. You could write either 07 or you could write July if you were doing Regina. And then estimate where the temperature is. So that's about 20 degrees Celsius. The coldest month, that one is January. So 01 or Jan. And then the temperature, I'm looking at about minus 12, I would say, according to this graph. Okay. Then the approximate precipitation in February, that's the second bar right here. But I have to scroll over here to find the number that way, which would be 15 millimeters. And I would put that in right there. So 1, 5, just like that. Okay. And then you would repeat that for all of those same places that you've already searched up. Okay. Just back to the Edsby one for a second. So if you actually went through Coordinating Climate Part 2, see what I have right here, the Toronto, Montreal, Vancouver. That's essentially what I'm looking for. Okay? When you get to the other part, which is the creating a climate graph, that one does ask you to kind of create a climate graph using this information here. You can make that on paper. You can make that using Google Sheets. And there's a kind of a walkthrough for this on our math page because it fits really well with that. So that's where you can kind of start with that one. All right, so that's those kind of that chunk of assignments for you to be working on. Bye, everyone.